How's it going, everybody? It's Dustin here, and today I've finally made a decision. So I've talked about it a couple times that I wanted to go in a different direction with my cordless tools. So right now I've got 4 different brands, 4 different chargers, 4 different batteries, and it's getting kind of annoying. And some of them are really getting some age, and a few of them have quit working. So it's time to start slowly replacing them. And there's a lot of options out there, from cheap to really expensive. So did some looking. Right now I'm currently running Milwaukee M12, which to me, there's no replacement for mechanic tools other than Milwaukee. Well, it's like this cordless ratchet. If you were to get a Kobalt or DeWalt, it'd be about that long. Completely unusable in a work environment. So impacts and stuff like that, Milwaukee's top of the line. But they've got a top of the line price. Kobalt 24 volt. I've had these since basically they came out. Me, my dad, my brother, all 3 had these for a while. And they've been great. I had a bunch of tools, a bunch of batteries. The chargers don't hold up very well. I've had 2 or 3 chargers go bad. Now I've had 2 tools quit working, a drill, and what was the other one? An impact driver. So, and the rest of them are showing age. What I don't like about them, what I do like is they've been very cost effective. They're not really that expensive. They're 24 volt, but the lineup of tools is not impressive. There's not a whole lot of stuff out there, and it really seems like Lowe's, especially since they've acquired, or since they're selling Craftsman, whatever the deal is there, they've quit focusing on Kobalt tools, and now it's all Craftsman. So there hasn't been anything new really come out for the Kobalt lineup in a while. So I definitely didn't want to go back with Kobalt. So they're out. Milwaukee's too high for just everyday drills, drivers, saws, stuff like that. I'm not a professional. I don't need Milwaukee grade for that. Pass load. Got a pass load. This is a framing gun. It uses a pass load battery and framing fuel. So it takes these little fuel canisters. I don't know if it's propane or what. I really don't know. But you got to have those propane canisters or whatever, those fuel canisters and a battery, and it works good. I've used it a lot. This is the second one I've had, but I don't like the new ones now. Don't require the fuel, like Milwaukee. Some of these others, probably even DeWalt, have got new framing guns that don't take fuel. So the fuel is annoying. There's really no way to keep an eye on how much you got of it, and when you run out, you can't nail anymore. So, and that fuel's high. That fuel's not cheap. So, and they really don't make anything other than that. So pass load was out. DeWalt. I've got a handful of 20 volt DeWalt tools. Not a bunch, but I've got this oscillating tool, a grease gun. I've got a framing nailer, air compressor, jigsaw, a few things in DeWalt. And DeWalt's always been really good, really reliable. And DeWalt was on the short list of options to keep going forward with. But once again, I don't feel like their lineup is, it's definitely construction leaning, which is fine. But I do more mechanical stuff. So like a DeWalt cordless ratchet would, no joke, be that long. Completely unusable. And their impacts are, so DeWalt was out. So what did we end up with? Well, thanks to my buddy Joe at Okie Woodsman, he talked me into Ridgid. Ridgid is a brand I've really never paid any attention to. I'm not a Home Depot guy. Lowe's, there's a Lowe's 30 minutes from here. The closest Home Depot is about 50. So I always go to Lowe's. When I do go to Home Depot, I can't hardly ever find anything because they're not, at least the one here is completely set up different than Lowe's. And I don't really care for it. But Joe sold me on two major facts. A lifetime warranty on the batteries. And the fact that every 18 volt tool they've ever made still takes the same design battery. Or same battery setup. Different batteries, of course, the battery technology changes every day. So the batteries have been upgraded. But you can take a brand new battery and put on an old 18 volt tool. They're not constantly changing the battery design. Those two things definitely sold me on Ridgid. Then, when I started looking into Ridgid, they've got a huge lineup. And it was all stuff that really appealed to me. It looked like stuff I wanted to get. And the price is kind of mid-range. It's not high and it's not cheap. So, I started out with a 4.5 inch grinder. It came with a 4 amp hour battery. So, this is where we're going to start with Ridgid, and we're going to slowly phase out all the rest of this. Except for the Milwaukee. The M12 Milwaukee, it ain't going nowhere. But the rest of this stuff is going to be slowly phased out, starting with all the Cobalt stuff. Everything I've got in Cobalt, I'll replace it first because it's the oldest. And then we'll eventually work into the DeWalt and the pass load framing gun. Ridgid makes a framing gun that does not take fuel. So that will be on the list too. Like I said, especially during the pumpkin patch, when we're building stuff, I use this stuff a lot, and the framing fuel is very annoying. So let's crack this thing open. See what's in here. So what kind of tools do you guys use? Have you ever had any experience with Ridgid? Am I making a mistake going with Ridgid? I don't think so. I think it's going to work out just fine. Looks like the battery came about half charged, which is typical. I like these little gauges on the batteries where you can check to see how full they are. I've always thought that's pretty handy. Got our handle. Looks like it came with a grinding disc, wrench. Here's the actual grinder, guard. Now Joe did tell me to make sure and register this thing. So I need to figure out how. I guess you've got to register the tool to get the lifetime warranty. So hopefully in here somewhere there's paperwork for that. Yeah, here we go. So looks like I've got to go online and register. And I don't know if I don't remember if the tool is a lifetime warranty also, or just the battery. It'd be really cool if the tool was also a lifetime warranty. But I'll take just the battery, if that's all it is. Okay, Not really sure what this was for. It's already got a So when I buy grinder wheels, I'll buy the ones like this that have the nut already built onto them. I like those a lot better. Instead of having to keep up with this and the wrench and all that. Looks like the guard is indexable. You just push that button in, then you can move the guard to keep the sparks however you want away from you. Like if you've got a cutoff wheel and whatever. So that's nice. Okay, so this guard is for cutting. This guard is for grinding. Guess you are supposed to change them out for grinding and for cutting. Odds are that's not going to happen. So anyway, so that's what I went with, Ridgid. Like I said, they've got a massive lineup. It's not as big as Milwaukee's. Milwaukee's is insane, but definitely not a small lineup. A lot of different options. I definitely like cordless nail guns. I've got two, and I really like them. I don't like dragging the air hose around, especially if you're working in the house or just out and about on the pumpkin patch. The cordless nail guns are really the way to go. So, well, let's see here. Oh, guess I forgot to tighten that up, didn't I? Well, we'll see. So my plan is to use it a bunch, and here in a couple months, probably give a long-term review on what I think. And hopefully by then we've added more Ridgid tools to the lineup, and we're putting them to work. So far, I like what I see. The charger is not some massive charger that takes up a ton of room, so that's always good. The way I've got it now, I've got so many chargers, they take up a god-awful amount of room. So that's a pretty small charger, and I'm sure they're probably like Milwaukee, and they've probably got a big charger bank. When you get a bunch of batteries, you can just, yeah, they've got a 6-port charger here. So probably one of these days when we get completely changed over, we'll probably get one of those like 6-port chargers and have 6 batteries going at once. So, well, I just wanted to update you guys, show you what I got, and thanks again, Joe, for all the information about Ridgid, because like I said, I would have never given them 2 thoughts because I don't go to Home Depot, and I guess I do now. Of course, not really. I can order all this stuff online, so probably still won't be going to Home Depot. I just don't care for the store. Am I the only one who feels that way? Or are you a Home Depot guy that doesn't like Lowe's? Drop me a comment. Maybe it's just me. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next video.